This is our consensus top 25. Jeff, I'll start with you as we look at the top of America. Are you in agreement that Alabama is deserving of number 1?
I'm not vehemently in disagreement. I just have Kansas at 1. I would say it's 1A and 1B, and I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I think Alabama's roster is a little bit deeper. They're banged up right now. I would say Kansas addressed all of the issues that plagued Bill Self and the Jayhawks a year ago, whether it's depth, whether it's perimeter shooting, whether it's ball creation, shot creation. I would say I like Kansas better only because, and again, I know you don't have to say it, Rob, because you've already said it. This is nothing against Nate Oates, but Nate Oates is not Bill Self, last I checked.
Wow. That's the last thing I was expecting to hear on the show is to Goodman come out here and take shots at Nate Oates, who's
I'm not taking a shot at him. He's awesome. He is awesome. But he's not a Hall of Famer.
Correct me if I'm wrong, T.O. Correct me if I'm wrong, T.O. But is Nate Oates coming off of a Final Four with a team that couldn't play any defense at all last season? And is he also, coming off an offseason where he went out and got the best defensive 5, best rebounder, best rim protector that was available in the portal? And does he still have Mark Sears, the best point guard in America, coming back to school? And did he add a bunch of shooters? Like, are we talking about the same Nate Oates here? The last thing I expected here was Jeff Goodman calling his best friend Nate Oates a horrible coach. And that's where we are. This is unbelievable. I never thought I'd see the day.
The amount of lies being told on this network by one Robert Dauster is incredible. I mean, it is absolutely incredible.
I'm just saying.
The slander, T.O., is honestly, I can't deal with it anymore.
It's a reach. It's a reach. I'm going, guys, if I had to pick between the two, I would pick Kansas to be number 1. And I feel like it has as much to do with the roster as it does how pissed off Bill Self is from January forward. And we kind of figured like he would hit the transfer portal with a vengeance, and boy, did he ever. You look at the roster from top to bottom, we know what Hunter Dickinson is, but they just didn't have enough depth last year. No longer an issue. I mean, worst case scenario, you got to play a freshman named Flory Badunga, who's good. As long as his motor's on, he's really, really good. Raquise Passmore might be the best freshman defender in college basketball. That's worst case scenario. Right. So you look at that roster from top to bottom, adding Zeke Mayo, just the depth of players that you can throw out on the floor on a given night. That's where I would give Kansas the edge. But guys, I mean, it's 1A and 1B. I know we have to go 1 and 2, but like Alabama's every bit as good. We'll see.
As long as Zeke Mayo isn't Justin Timberlake, we're good.
Justin Timberlake is Justin Timberlake. Well, he did score on Kenny Smith one time. I'll give you that.
Justin Timberlake probably could have shot better than Nick Timberlake a year ago.
Facts.
Well,
hey, look, let's not take shots. Let's not take shots at a guy who did his best. Okay, like he just wasn't good enough. But Justin Timberlake, Kansas fans would have rather seen Justin Timberlake. I think we should start there and finish there with the Timberlake slander. The other things are like I just feel like they're so deep. But what Alabama does too. Mark Sears is the best guard in college basketball right now. Between him and R.J. Davis, it's right there. And so you look at his ability to create some of these passes that Mark Sears was making towards the back end of the year. Outstanding, absurd. Put an adjective in there that's grandiose, and he's part of it. So you look at what he's able to create with all the shooters around him. I think how quick Chris Youngblood can get back going after an injury that's going to have him out for the first part of the season. That's going to be a major factor. But you add a Morier into the mix. They needed rim protection. They didn't have it last year, and they still made it to the Final Four. So could Alabama win the national championship? Sure. Could Kansas? Sure. Right now, though, as long as they get A.J. Storr going in Kansas, they're a tough cover.
That's the key.
That feels like the key. I think that certainly for Alabama, LeBaron Phelan is to their gain. That's a good pickup for them. You've got Latrell Wrightsell. You've got Jaron Stevenson, who showed some real strides in the NCAA tournament. You're right. Last year, Jeff, I remember you talking to Mark Sears at one point in January on our network, and you were pretty candid in challenging them defensively. They were 111th in KenPom defensive efficiency, and they reached the Final Four last season. Just imagine what would happen if that defense, Jeff, became a top 50 unit.
Well, what they have is now they can go, when they get healthy, they can go 10 deep. So Nate can take out some dudes that aren't guarding, right? Like their second unit, honestly, might be ranked, Rob, in the preseason top 25 if they're healthy. And their second unit has higher upside. Those are guys that are more pros, Stevenson, Darion Reed, some of these other guys. But their first unit is just a really good group of college basketball veterans.
They got 5 guys that are probably going to start that are all fifth-year grad students. Mark Sears, Trell Reitzel, Grant Nelson, Cliff Amori, and when Chris Youngblood is back and healthy, all 5 of those guys are fifth-year guys. Yes. So, yeah, like I understand the Kansas love. They're going to be awesome. They're probably they are technically the favorite right now to win the national championship, according to our friends over at BetMGM. And, I mean, look, Hunter Dickinson, you got KJ Adams, you got DeJuan Harris, you got everything you need on that Kansas roster, and you got Bill Self. I get it. They're awesome. I think both teams, I would love to see them face, if we get that game in a national championship game in San Antonio in what?
That'd be amazing.
Exactly 5.5 months from today.
Yeah.
I think we'd all want that.
Everybody would sign up for it.